Hey guys, it's Christine, also known as IvyWinter. Thank you for joining me for another Disney video. First, I just want to say happy May the 4th to all of you Star Wars fans. I hope you are celebrating as best you can at home. Wear your Star Wars shirts, watch those movies, do something fun. I don't know, make Darth Vader cupcakes or something. So today is a requested video, one that I had to really think on because this is not an easy list. And someone asked me, Christine, how would you rank the World Showcase pavilions? Well, I have my ranking here. And I know that this is going to be probably a video of some contention because I feel like there will definitely be people who have very different opinions, and that is totally okay. The beauty of World Showcase is that there is something for everyone there, and I think the different pavilions appeal to different people. I took time to go through all 11 countries and rank them from my least favorite to favorite. But I really do love all the countries. Like my least favorite, well, maybe my least favorite is the one that I think is the worst, to be honest. But for the most part, I really love all of the pavilions. But of course, there are ones I gravitate towards the most for various reasons. So we're just gonna cut to the chase and go through them. Starting with my number 11, which is USA. And now I know you're gonna say, well, Christine, but you're from the USA. How could you dare rank it the lowest? Well, a couple of reasons. One, as someone who is from here, there's less of an appeal for me. I like seeing the other countries because it is different stuff than what I'm used to. But second of all, I don't think the pavilion is that great. The shining thing that the US pavilion has is the Voices of Liberty. Now, I'm not saying that out of bias because Kat is in the Voices of Liberty now, though, I mean, she's fantastic. I've loved the Voices of Liberty for years. And while, yes, they are my favorite sort of experience entertainment in the pavilions, it's not enough to bump that entire pavilion to number 1. Because I'm looking at it holistically, and I don't really think that there's much to do. I'm not a fan of the American Adventure. You guys know that. I think it's kind of cheesy and corny. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I do know that now they have the barbecue place, and I haven't been since it opens, to be completely fair. So I'm basing this on previous experience with the old quick service, which I thought was just meh and not very good, especially when you compare it to what else you can get in World Showcase. They do also have that stage where you can see the concerts, but I guess my problem with that is like I'm not one who's ever gonna line up super early to get like great seats at one of those concerts, or for something like Candlelight Processional, get in at all. So to me, I don't think that spending my time waiting in line for a show is worth it. And so overall, I just think that it's theming and the experience is lackluster. I will give Voices of Liberty all the points in the world, but the pavilion itself, I bypass it all the time. My number 10 is going to be Canada. I was not really the biggest fan of the movie that was there. I don't really know much about the new one. Again, this is all going by, I haven't been there since the movies opened in, what was it, January? You know, I was supposed to experience them in April. Obviously that didn't happen. But Canada, again, is another pavilion that I don't really go into, like, ever. I feel like I bypass it all the time. Again, it doesn't feel like there's much there for me personally. I don't really like the Canada, the old movie. I don't know what the new movie is like comparatively. I have eaten there once or twice, and I will give them the cheddar cheese soup for sure. But overall, again, not a pavilion that to me feels like there's a lot to do and see, so I don't really spend a lot of time there. Number 9 is Germany. Again, another pavilion I don't spend a ton of time in. I do like to eat at the beer garden. I think that's a really fun experience. If you like German food, some people are turned off by German food. I totally get it. I think it can be a little polarizing. So if you're not into that, you might not like the beer garden, but I like the experience of sitting with other people. I like the show that they have when you're there, but overall I think that's the only time I really spend time in Germany. I do know they have like that whole caramel Werther shop, which is cool, but not really something that I've ever gone there for. I think the only other shining light for me there is the beer steins. Those are really neat, but it's not a pavilion I spend a lot of time in. And probably out of like every 4 visits to Epcot, I'll spend 1 of them in that pavilion. I tend to not explore it too much. Number 8 is Norway. I think that The Frozen ride is fantastic. That definitely appeals to me, and I like to go for that specifically. I've never eaten at Akershush. I never know how to say that right. I'm not really into meeting the princesses, so that whole section I just like never am in. I think that school bread is overrated, so I'm not super big on the bakery either. I know there's probably people out here with like pitchforks, like school bread's the best thing in the world. I do actually like, there's like a little building that you go into. Well, I think now it has more Frozen stuff, but it kind of had more about Norwegian mythology. I think Norwegian mythology is fascinating. I wish there was more of that within the pavilion. Again, it's one of those that like, I'll definitely sit on a bench and enjoy people watching in that pavilion, but there's nothing specific that I gravitate towards to aside from Frozen Ever After. My number 7 is the UK. I like the UK pavilion. I really love that there's like that back garden area where there's sometimes our bands playing. There is a neat tour that you can take during Flower and Garden that's all about tea. If tea's your thing, you would like that tour. It's a cool small tour that they do there through like their tea garden. I do like the vibe of the UK. I mean, I also really like the Rose and Crown pub. If you are into like having a few drinks and feeling like you're in a legit bar, that's definitely where to go to. It's definitely really fun in there. Very fun vibe when you go in there. And it's a good location to watch, well, I guess at the time, Illuminations, now is Epcot Forever. So I definitely like it. It being number 7 on my list is definitely not me, like, you know, throwing any jabs at it per se. I do enjoy it. I feel like I could spend more time there. I love that you can meet Mary Poppins there and Alice. Great characters to interact with, so they've really got that going for them. And I do think that when they expand to have the Mary Poppins ride, it's gonna totally change my ranking on it. I think the expansion is gonna be super, super nice. So I think it just has potential, and that's why it's not all the way up on my list. But I do think that when the expansion happens, it might change in terms of my ranking. Number 6 is China. I really like China because I really like the acrobats, first of all. I think they're fantastic. I actually really like the shops that are interconnected there. So I like Asian culture, and I like that kind of atmosphere and aesthetic. So that's what sort of pulls me to China. I think that the main building that the movie is in is gorgeous. Even if you don't go to watch the movie, go in there. It's really, really beautiful. Their food is I'm gonna say that first and foremost. Like, that is not giving it any sort of high rankings for me. I had better Chinese food in New York City, but there's something I like about the area. I've also met Mulan there a couple of times, and she's really fun to meet as well. But I really like the stores, and I don't know, there's just a lot to see and look at going through there. And I think that's what sort of appeals to me with some pavilions, is like, if I feel like I can wander through a little bit. And I think it's a kind of underrated pavilion, to be honest. And number 5 is France. I really like France. You know, at first, I don't think I spent a lot of time there when I was younger, and the more that I spend time in the pavilion, the more that I really like it. I like Impressions de France. I always have. I thought it was the best of the movies that were there. Haven't done Beauty and the Beast sing-along yet, but I mean, who doesn't love to get a baguette all the way in the back bakery over there? I just really like it. It's really beautiful. I love the music. I like the restaurants. I like the whole atmosphere of it. I don't know. It just seems really nice. Also, France is the first place I ever had escargot. Not the country, in Epcot. Though I did eat escargot in France proper, and my gosh, so good. The first time I ever actually like manned up and tried escargot at Food and Wine was in the France pavilion. So I feel like that memory in and of itself puts it a little higher for me. I think escargot is amazing. And if you haven't tried it because you're like kind of freaked out by the idea, just do it. It just tastes like garlic and butter deliciousness. My number 4 is Japan. So again, kind of like China, I love that Asian decor. I do love the drum group that used to perform there. I say used to because with the furloughs and the park closing and everything else, it sounds like they are no longer going to be performing at Epcot, which is really, really sad. Super bums me out because they were fantastic. They've been there for like 15 years. and they were a huge part of why I liked the pavilion. But the stores are so fun. I love how you weave through one big store and every section feels different. You've got the kitschy anime stuff, you've got the oysters and the pearls, you've got kimonos and clothing, you've got the whole section of the crazy candies and sodas and all of that fun stuff. Like, that whole store, I walk through it almost every single time because I just think it's so cool. I really like the bubble tea that you can get in the little kiosks. They have good alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages there that I love. Their food's really good. I haven't been to the new fancier restaurant, but God, I really want to. I hear great things. Oh man, I love the vibe out there in Japan. It's really cool. So I love that pavilion also because I really want to go to Japan. I've never been. So, you know, if that's the closest I can get right now, I'll take it. My number 3 is Italy. And a huge reason for this is the mask shop. As you guys know, I collect Venetian masks from Epcot, and I love that mask shop. That just shoots it way up for me because it is a tradition for me to go there and get one. They're always different. They're actually hand painted there, which is so cool. The people who work there are so lovely. And so in and of itself, that wins out for me. But I really like the wine cellar. Super cool place to go. If you've never gone and gotten a drink there, go. It's such a fun atmosphere. I like the pizza there. I like the entertainment that they have. It's like a vibe thing. I just really like Italy a lot. They also have that beautiful area in the front that has like the boats that are like the boats in Venice, and it's a nice little area to kind of walk out on, take photos. So yeah, Italy's really nice. I'm definitely a fan. My number 2 might surprise you that it is not my number 1, but I'll explain why. So my number 2 is actually Morocco. You guys know I love the Moroccan pavilion. I've been to Morocco. It's one of my favorite vacations I've ever taken. Still so far, even though I've been to many places since. And the people who work in that pavilion are the nicest, loveliest people. They're just great. I love how it feels like you're walking through the souks with all the different shops, and they're like outdoors, or they feel like they're outdoors. A lot of the stuff that they have there is imported from Morocco, so it's the same stuff I saw when I was in the country, which is so cool. Spice Road table, so delicious. Hummus fries, they are everything. But also, what a great view of the lake. If you can get a seat outside, great, or up in the window inside, great. It's a really good restaurant. Marrakesh, the other big restaurant, the food's fine. As far as Moroccan food goes, it gets as close as it can, and it's fine. But what you really want to go for is the belly dancing and like the show. That's really great. I love that they have that, like, if you go all the way to the back, there's like that cute little fountain that you could just sit and relax. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you'll catch Aladdin and Jasmine walking by as they go to their meet and greet area. And I love Moroccan food, so that's a huge plus for me too. And that fountain is just gorgeous, right? I feel like a lot of people love to take photos there. It's really quintessential Epcot. But my number 1, because I just love spending so much time in it, is Mexico. I find that I spend a lot of time there. I love indoors is outdoors. Rob and I talk about this all the time. I think it's beautiful. I think it's so beautiful in there. I love the shops and the little kiosks. I love the hand-painted animal ceramics, and all the Day of the Dead stuff. The tequila bar is amazing. I'm not even a big tequila drinker. I normally don't drink drinks with tequila in it, but the stuff that they make there is phenomenal. And you have my favorite ride in all of World Showcase, which is the Three Caballeros ride, because Donald's, but also what a great ride and what a great song, and it's such a fun experience, and most times a very short wait, so it's one of those rides you can just kind of walk on and enjoy. I love the restaurant in there. I know people have some issues, it's really interesting. I feel like San Angel Inn has very polarizing reviews. I've always had a good meal there. Totally respect people who haven't, but I've always had a good meal there. And I also like the quick service. The quick service tacos outside are really good, and they're like refried beans and everything. They've got margaritas, love those. They've got that other restaurant that I'm blanking on. Is it like the Cantina, I think it might be called? I ate there last trip, the day before I left, and that has always been really good. And I love meeting Mexican Donald there. I love the mariachi band. I love that they brought in cocoa. I love seeing more cocoa stuff pop up there. I love that pavilion. I probably spend the most percentage of my time in World Showcase in Mexico. So that is my ranking of all the 11 countries in World Showcase, but I would love to know, what are your favorite? Give me like your top 3, or maybe your least favorite in the comments below, and let me know why. I feel like everyone has different pavilions they gravitate towards for various reasons, so I'm really interested in what you guys have to say. If you like this video, then like it. If you like me, you should subscribe and make videos every single week. I appreciate you guys hanging in there. I've been a little quiet lately. I've just been so overworked. Work has been crazy. So I apologize if I'm not putting out as many videos as I normally do. Unfortunately, with the pandemic and the kind of job that I have, it's just my workload has gone that trajectory. So hopefully things start to calm down and I can do more streams, do more videos, but thanks for sticking in there. Thank you so much for watching as always. Have a great rest of the day. Bye.